Shall we to Valhalla? Look at this whiskey cap. Isn't that cool? Tim here from the Whiskey Geeks, everybody. This was made by a friend of ours. Isn't that fun? What an interesting whiskey cap. Reach out. We might have some of these for sale. This is a fun one. We're trying some new crazy stuff. There might be some other helmets coming. Anyway, Tim here from the Whiskey Geeks. Hi, everybody. We're back with another whiskey review today. And today we're going to the wee tune. Oh, my goodness. One of my favorite distilleries, Glen, Scotia, with the 9-year-old. This was their 2024 festival edition that my father was very generous on a trip to Scotland. Picked this up for me because he knows how much I love Glen, Scotia. He actually went to the distillery, the whole nine. He had a wonderful trip. Not jealous at all. Not at all. Anyway, what do we got? All right, so the single malt Scotch whiskey Campbeltown Malts Festival 2024 limited edition, an unpeated Fino sherry finish, Glen, Scotia, 9 years old, coming in at 56.2%. Woo, baby. You know me. If you know me and you've watched my reviews before and I've talked about Glen, Scotia, my heart sings. It's definitely in my top 3 distilleries of all time. Every now and then it floats to number 1. But Boona still has my heart. I think they gotta be my favorite. But Glen, Scotia is always right there. And when they come out with really cool, fun stuff, it sometimes jumps up. Oh, I love this whiskey. It's very, very good. Right away when you get in to nose this whiskey, you get those classic Glen, Scotia notes. You get some sea spray and saltiness, but also some savory, buttery notes too. The unpeatedness of this whiskey, so you don't really get any of the smoke. Sometimes with their like Victorianas, there's a little bit of peat smoke kind of wafting in and out of it. But this one, unpeated, you just get all that wonderful, wonderful malt that they do at Glen, Scotia. I think they're they produce such great spirit. And then they do wonderful jobs aging it. And this 9-year-old Fino sherry finish, how can you go wrong? You know, you start with a great spirit, you age it well, you're on the coast of Scotland, so you get some of that maritime influence and saltiness from the sea air coming in, and then you throw it in a sherry cask of any kind, whether it be PX, Oloroso, or Fino sherry. Wonderful things tend to happen. And you keep it at a nice healthy 56.2%. Oh, give me a cask strength sherry finish whiskey all day, every day, especially in the winter months. This is normally when I'm leaning heavily into the peat. You know what? To start the year, I'm feeling sherry. So that's what I've been drinking. I've been drinking mostly sherried whiskeys recently, dipping into the peat here and there. But it's been a lot of sherry finishes. So it's just so buttery and good with a little bit of that saltiness, right? It's like salted butter. But the sherry does have some of those fruits in there too, raisins and stuff. Raisins, oh man, you get a little bit of you don't get the strawberry red fruits that you get in an Oloroso or a PX, but you do just get some nice berries. Yeah, some nice maybe even stewed strawberries or something like that. Oh my gosh, it's so good. If you can find a bottle of this, I can't recommend it enough. It's savory, it's sweet, tiny little bit of spice, but not at all. It's like baking a really nice apple tart. You know, you get that sweetness and a little bit of fruit and a little bit of sugariness, but then there's the vanilla spices come in, but then buttery pastry. Oh, butter pastry is what I'm getting a lot of. There's a little bit of maltiness underneath that, the honey cereal notes of of a nice malt, but salted butter comes in and sweetness and vanilla and honey. Oh my gosh, with just a little bit of fruit. My goodness. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful whiskey. My gosh. Dad, I can't thank you enough for this one. I've been doing a little bit of work on it. I know it's hard to find. You can see straight from the UK. Being in Canada, we don't get stuff like this a lot, unfortunately. Again, very fortunate that I have a bottle of this. I also have their 2023 festival, which was an Amontillado sherry finish. Their newest one, I believe, is a peated in a Barolo cask. So if anyone out there has that or can get their hands on it or is going to Scotland or knows someone in Scotland who's coming back, something like that. If you can hit me up, that would be great, because I would love to see what the next one is like. Glen Scotia does fantastic work. Thank you, Glen Scotia, for always putting out wonderful whiskeys. Thank you for watching this quick little review. If you like what you see, you could drop a subscribe. If you want to see these before or earlier when they first come out, you can hop over to my Patreon. It's the link to that. If you're watching this on Patreon, thank you so much for subscribing to the Patreon. We're going to be doing more stuff on Patreon. I've got more of my music industry podcast coming out, the Murdoch Music Podcast, where I'm bringing old episodes out of the vault. I'm actually going to record some new episodes of that podcast this year too. We've got comic book stuff coming. My comic book's still in the works, Frog Bucket. You can check that out too. But thanks for checking out this review. Glen Scotia 9-year-old Festival Edition. Fino Sherry finished. It's fantastic. I'm giving this a 9. It might even creep up to 9.5. I love it. I don't know how often I'm going to break it out because it's that good. I've shared it with some people. They all love it as well. So if you can get your hands on it, please do. If not, you know someone that has a bottle like me. Like we always say at the Whiskey Geeks, whiskey's for sharing. So get on out there, share your whiskeys around. This is the year of sharing and caring. So let's buy nice bottles and open them. Don't hoard them. Open them up, share them with your friends. That's what whiskey's for. So get out there and do that, folks. And remember the Whiskey Geeks motto, Scotch and stories, they were made for each other. Cheers, folks.